Insights of All Trades podcast.
I think the best way to start with just what I'm obsessed with would be right now would be education, wrestling, Christian faith, and being obsessed with the idea of like, can I exploit my full potential and everything we can do? And I kind of going back to what Nick and I were talking about with how we are like-minded, I think that's what made us pretty close in the last 6 months of just being all in different areas of life, but the commonality was that we were just all in about something.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
And I'll go down a very quick rabbit hole, but I was just talking the other day to our friend Taylor, who's into bodybuilding. We were talking about how it's become like demeaning for someone to ask like if you have like hobbies about something or like have some hobby, because we're like, I don't have hobbies, I have obsessions about something. And so I have these several obsessions that I've been diving into since close to 5 years ago for wrestling. That's what put me on the path of working towards some single goal. So, for example, I just got home from school, so I was digging through some old stuff, cleaning out my room, found this notebook that I had just yesterday I wrote the same sentence.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on your Snapchat story.
I wrote, I will qualify and wrestle at individual states this season, or like this postseason. Mm-hmm. And I had wrote that 5 times a night every time before I went to bed. And I did that for close to a year, from the time my junior postseason ended up until my senior postseason. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I multiplied it out, and it's like in the high 30,000s.
Yeah, you were just flipping through pages.
Of how many times I wrote that sentence. So that's a pretty good example of the person I became through wrestling. Then when I got to college, I channeled that same hunger of like being goal driven towards something with school. So in high school, like, I think this is a very common high school experience, but I didn't put forth a lot of effort and still got good grades.
No, yeah, definitely.
Wasn't our valedictorian, but was still top 10 student, and went to college thinking that I don't know if I thought I could coast, but I thought I would have a lot more free time. I thought it would still be easy to maintain good grades. And the first college quiz I got was in organic chem, or like our gen chem, our freshman year. It was a 10-point quiz, and I got 50%. And for some reason, that was so hard for me to swallow that I don't know if I've ever seen anything like. I certainly never seen a failing grade before, just to put it that way.
Yeah.
And it ate at me so much that I went back to my room. I was like, I need to come up with some means of making sure I work towards school the rest of my 6 years at Wilkes for the pharmacy program, the same way that I've been working for wrestling. So what I started to do is I made a minimum. My freshman year, the minimum was 4 hours outside of class. I'd study every single day, but every single day, including like the breaks throughout the school year, whether it be like fall break, spring break, etc. And I became obsessed with, can I meet this time limit I set for myself every day? Like, even if I feel ahead, which most of the time, especially during freshman year, I would once I started adopting that training, if you will, that studying schedule.
That's some ambition, man.
And it grew. It ended up, now I do like a 6-hour minimum and even more class time, and still throughout like the wrestling season. And I became obsessed with school the same way I was previously with wrestling. And then, of course, the grades will follow.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the expense of what people throw under the umbrella of a fun college experience. So
yeah, and it should be noted that Cole is still wrestling too at Wilkes, so you got that on top of all your schoolwork.
Oh yeah,
and you're training for a marathon. You're doing all sorts of stuff, man.
Yeah,